That's Roma.
Our moderators, Venerable Mahayano and Venerable Siling Tongko Rinpoche.
Greetings, everyone. I pay homage to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, especially today to the Mahasangha gathering here together at this time with the presence of His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, with the distinguished guests, dignitaries, and the leaders from all many different traditions of Buddhism who gathered here today. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to welcome and pay homage to everyone here together today. We are here together at this auspicious place of the enlightenment of the Buddha in Bodh Gaya, India, for our first International Sangha Forum 2023. Our forum's theme is Bridging Traditions and Embracing Modernity, a dialogue on the Buddha's teachings and how it relates to today's world. The aim of this gathering is to strengthen the harmony among the different Buddhist traditions so that we can learn from one another, enriching our practice and the philosophy that we've encouraged to study. This is even more crucial in our 21st century where we are more connected than ever before. So we'll be here together for the next 3 days with more than 50 distinguished guest speakers and moderators from 37 countries. The topics varies from connecting back to the ancient wisdom, exploring each important topics in depth, and all the way to how the Buddha Dhamma can be relevant to the modern ways of living. So please, all of our guests, you can see all the information in the booklet that has been handed out for more information of the speakers and the session's information. And on the morning of the 23rd of December, as a post-conference, we will be joining together for a World Peace Prayer session at the Mahabodhi Temple. So there is a lot going on for the next 3 and 4 days, so please enjoy your time together here and make the best use of the enriching qualities of all of us being here together. Thank you.
Tren temba tuji jen ngombar zobar sangebe ne keba jen doji den dilia laje sishi zugen samlen shide debe konsal hame namje kemgwen geong bucho ushuk to nambe yudu khagi uti lachen nabatang kemne kinju gide chelia kuja ngon tangwe thone shungje gi pyuri chega kha da neyo gi kunjon namba shen gegap kha menja ba sumju sodius ne pebe kunjon namba nidong namba che lengel ya tirin chilo nidong nishu chaksum daba chungni beche nishu kui lasa gewe nyingi dene songte nima sungring la chogyu geji gendun be doleng chemo unje gi jego del ya chebeb kajin kyang nang bater lausung ningar jane gagui tosum ngane samji tash dele shuwata chapchik doleng di goba da mi yu zo te temba chigi chuzu nyamshe nanggen ki Pali chugyu dang, lekjagi chugyu zuebe, chodak kaka dang, miri dami, taganashin gegab minjaba sosyo par, nima sumgi ringli ya, samzu jelen dang, nyamnyong periyek lamne, samshe dang, kodur, lekja lenre je naya dang, turab nyejigba di nangli ya, nangba sangebe chugi rendang dang, kene, taganashin ki mangzog chuyola kayo layo ki, nangchuyo ki labja, lakdar kantes chigu yume kolya doleng shuya yin shibdati nabuzu chalu yube chakdipti nanglolya sinangre dene nima tama delya chize nyu saksumgi nyamude jino khonskyamgu chambucho ushu to lajin uti namba lenzomgi thone chöden rumbuche gi chongdu zamling shide myolam soya che zerim dordi dos chegin terengi doleng zerim zegogi zerim thangbote pali ke thone tashi be chigje sunai.
So today our inaugural session would start off by an auspicious prayers from both the Pali and the Sanskrit tradition. So first I would like to invite our Pali Sangha to please opening the chant of this auspicious event.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Karane yamata kusale nayan Tang san tang patang abhisame jasa ko ucho jasu ucho jasu vacho jasa moto anatima nisanto sako jasu paro jaapakityo jasa lau kavuti santendriyo janipako jaapakapo Kule su anano kito anajakota samajare kintiye navinyo pare upadayung sukino vakemino hontu sabbe satam bhavantu sukitata ye kechipana potati tasava Tavarawa anavase satika vaye mahantava machima rasaka anukatura dita vaye adidhaye jature vasante aviture bhutava sambhave seva sape satta Bhavantu sukhita tana paro parang niko petana ติมัยเยตกาตจินังกินจิปยาโรสนาปฏิกัสสัญญาณัญญมัญญาสตุขเมจยามาตายตานิยังปุตตังอายุสาเอกปุตตมนุระเกเอวัมปิสัพพพุเตสุมาณสัมภาวเยอปริมาณังเมตตัญจะสัพพโรกัสสมิงมาณสัมภาวเยอปริมาณังอุทธังอัตโตจติริยังจะสัมภาตังอเวรังสัสสะปาตังติตัญจรังนิสินโนวาสยานโนวายาวตาสวิกตามิโตเอตังสติงอาทิตยามพรหมเมตังวิหารังอิตมาโหติตินจานุปคัมมศีลวะตัสสเนนะสัมปัญโนกาเมสุวินัยยักเกตังนะหิจาตุขาภัสสยังปุณเรติเตมภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนัสทธาโสติภวันตุเตมภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพธัมมานุภาเวนัสทธาโสติภวันตุเตมภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนัสทธาโสติภวันตุเต
May I now request the Sanskrit, the venerables to come up here and read the Sanskrit Sutra.
Namo Buddhaya Gurave Namo Dhammaya Dayine Namah Sanghaya Mahate Triyo Visadanam Namah Sarvadrishti Pranaya Yasaddhamma Deshaya Anukampam Upadaya Tam Namasyami Gautamam Sarva Papasya Karanam Ushalasyo Sambhata Swachittamanavatmanam Etat Buddhanam Shasanam Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Ayavadat Tesham Chayo syaat vritti syaat uttarotaram vritti syaat uttarotaram vritti syaat uttarotaram.
Thank you. And the Buddha's teaching has been considered the light that illuminates darkness. So on this auspicious occasion, on behalf of the Mahasangha gathering here together today, I would like to humbly request His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, together with all our distinguished guests, to lead us in inaugurating the event by lighting up the lamp of wisdom as a gesture for the flowering of the Buddha Dharma together on these special occasions. On the count together of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
International Sangha Forum 2023 is proudly open.
Thank you. And on this occasion, I would like to invite Ms. Winnie Ng, the Secretary of the International Sangha Forum, Bodh Gaya, President of the Tibetan Buddhist Center, Singapore and Malaysia, to give the welcoming address to the gathering. Thank you.
Your Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, special guests, Honorable Sri Pema Khandu, Chief Minister Arunachal Pradesh, India, Mahasangarajas, abbots, heads of Buddhist institutions, Sangha members, and all our invited guests. It is my honor to welcome every one of you to the first International Sangha Forum 2023 on behalf of the organizing committee members. The primary focus of this forum is to develop an ongoing and collaborative between the Pali and Sanskrit tradition across various parts of the world. It aims to identify and have the shared benefits of study and the practice of the two-party tradition across the world, as well as to develop appreciations and understanding of the strength of the two traditions across the various sects. And it also what it means to be a 21st century Buddhist. And there is a need for Dharma to be more accessible, more relevant, and beneficial to each one of us and our younger generation. Through the 3 days of the forum, I hope we will take away key messages and insights on how the 21st century Buddhists will impact our daily lives, making it a more positive and inspiring for every one of us. And my vision, hoping the conference and the program will help to enrich everybody's life, to make us and the world a better and kinder place to be. And I hope every one of you will enjoy the next 4 days of the program. Thank you to all the chairpersons and the speakers of the 4-day forum. And after the 4-day forums, we will have a post-event prayers at the Mahabodhi Temple. And on behalf of our committee members, I thank you, everyone. Thank you.
May I now request His Holiness and the other dignitaries to bless the certificate of participation to be presented to all the speakers and chairpersons later today. So next, we have the welcome address to be given by Mr. Abhijit Halder, Director General of International Buddhist Confederation, New Delhi.
Namo Buddhaya. Good morning to you all. It is indeed a privilege and an honor for me to speak before this very enlightened gathering of most esteemed Sangha heads, most esteemed venerables, with the blessings of His Holiness who is gracing this occasion, and in the presence of Honorable Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, Sri Pema Khandu. I notice a lot of Sangha brothers and sisters also gathering here, a lot of academicians, a lot of scholars. I think there cannot be a better timing and place for hosting an event such as this. Bodh Gaya is a city of enlightenment. And I'm sure during the course of discussions over the next 2 days, whatever message that comes out will have a resounding impact all across the world as it comes out from the city of enlightenment. I say this with a lot of conviction because mankind has seen some of nature's worst anger and wrath in the last few years. If you notice in the last few years, we have witnessed some of the worst floods, some of the worst drought. We have seen earthquakes. As we talk here, Northwest China has witnessed an earthquake just on Monday. We have seen the ocean levels going up, the snow in the high altitude mountain falling down. We have seen the pandemic. We have all dealt with it. Before that, we saw the tsunami. Now, what is it that we have done as human beings that the nature is so angry with us? There is some flaw in our way of handling the nature. Tathagata Gautama Buddha had said that the nature gives you back what you give to the nature. If that be so, then as Dhamma practitioners, it is critical and important for all of us to stop, to pause, to look back and introspect as to where have we gone wrong and what we need to do in the future. I'm glad to mention here that in the recently held World Climate Action Summit in Dubai, our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, specifically mentioned about the need for more attention towards the environment. He said that just as we humans are bothered about our own health, we have various schemes like the health insurance schemes, we have the health credit schemes. Likewise, we need to be concerned about the health of the environment. And he suggested something called the green credit. So if political leaders across the world are able to and keen to resolve most of the issues related to climate change and environment, I think we as Dhamma practitioners should be able to supplement their efforts. Here, I would like to mention a line which I picked up from a brief statement which His Holiness had made 31 years ago on June 7, 1992 at the Parliamentary Earth Summit Global Forum of the UN Conference on Environment and Development in Brazil. And I quote, with your permission, I believe that to meet the challenges of our times, human beings will have to develop a greater sense of universal responsibility. Each of us must learn to work not for his or herself, or his or her family, or his or her nation, but all of us should work for the benefit of all mankind. Unquote. I would just like to reiterate these lines of His Holiness once again as we begin this particular event. As far as man-made calamities are concerned, we all know of the conflict which is going on between Russia and Ukraine. We are seeing what is happening in Gaza between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Every day we find men, women, children, innocent, losing their lives. And this is where the core principles of the Dhamma, which hinges on wisdom and compassion, seems to be completely missing. So this is again an area where we as Dhamma practitioners need to apply our mind and try and send a strong message to the global community, to the leadership across the world about the essence and value of compassion and wisdom. But it is very interesting at the same time, these two topics which I just mentioned, one on environmental threats, climate change, and the other on compassion and wisdom, these were all taught by the Buddha 2,500 years ago. That was a time when there was no climate change related problems. There were no environmental disasters. There was certainly no pollution. But here was an individual who had perceived that for the survival and existence of mankind, this is a critical element, the balance between man and nature. Likewise, 2,500 years ago, he had thought of compassion and wisdom, which remains valid even till date, as we see the conflict going on around the world. So I think we have a tremendous role to play here, and I'm sure a strong message will go out of this particular conference from the ISF. Friends, we all know that Buddha Dhamma today is not only a part and parcel of the rich Indian culture, but also a part of the global culture because of its universal and secular nature, which is much needed in today's chaotic world to sustain the society. It is basically a way of life and shows how to live a life in peace, prosperity, happiness, compassion, and harmony within and outside. The present era of scientific and technological advancement has unfortunately failed to alleviate the basic sufferings of human being, that is poverty, inequality, and communalism. This has led to the fertile ground for growth of fundamentalism, violence, and conflict throughout the world. The range of threats and challenges the world faces today has created an environment of fear and uncertainty of life. Today, a human being wakes up in the morning and is struck by the nature of negativity which he may face because he is so used to negative forces acting around him. So we've come to a level where things are not as healthy as it used to be several decades ago. In such a conflicting scenario, to bring peace, happiness, and harmony within us and in the environment around us, attention must shift to issues that help in making humans more compassionate. It is this that makes the Buddha and the Dhamma more relevant as it encompasses the philosophy of life, which is completely missing in this post-modern era of development. If we glance through ancient Indian history, we find that as time passed, large number of people from all walks of life benefited from the teachings and the practice of Dhamma. During the 3rd century BC, Emperor Ashoka, having realized the direct benefits from the Dhamma in his personal life, even applied it in good governance and welfare of his kingdom, and ensured that the principles of Dhamma spread far and wide across different parts of the world. So we have today the several Buddhist countries around us, from Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Vietnam, China, Korea, Japan, etc. All of it has been effort of Emperor Ashoka in spreading the essential values of Buddha Dhamma, which have been accepted by different traditions, different cultures in different parts of the world. Friends, the entire teachings of the Buddha are to help those experiencing suffering and pain, and to enable them to come out of the state of illness or disease or a conflicting mindset, and instead live a life of ease with peace, happiness, and harmony. If practiced, these secular and universal teachings can impact our daily lives and help us bring a positive change, not only in the present moment, but also in the future through our actions in the present. We all know that the main discourse of the Buddha, known as the Dhammachakra Pravattana Sutta, is based on the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, or the middle path, which is the path of Sila, which means morality, the path of Samadhi, which means concentration, and the path of Pragya, which means wisdom or insight. All of these are valued essentials for today's life. Another relevant discourse of the Buddha, applicable in modern times, is the Kalama Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. This discourse clearly shows that the Buddha was a practical thinker and was against dogmatism. He believed that all his teachings, or the teachings of the others, should be experienced by individuals on their own and only then inculcated within themselves, not by virtue of preaching or teaching by others. So this was a very scientific approach. Just as in science, you carry out several practical experiments before proving a theory to be correct. The Buddha was a scientist of his own being. He would ensure that you have to practice and learn and understand the concept before inculcating the values of the Dhamma. As Venerable Valpola Rahula, an erudite monk scholar, indicates, he said that the concepts are part of a specific and disciplined form of methodology of self-cultivation, which, when diligently practiced, leads to true knowledge and wisdom. It is also significant to note that today the Buddha's teachings, or the Dhamma, is being applied so effectively by Dhamma practitioners in modern fields of mental health, of artificial intelligence, of cybersecurity, the field of diplomacy, the field of negotiations, and of course, it remains relevant in the field of politics, statecraft, and modern economics. The Buddha considered politics as important, not so much for its intrinsic value, but because it created an external environment that can facilitate or impede an individual's pursuit of happiness and achievement of wisdom. Buddha's social teachings parallel modern democratic thought, mixed market economics, and cosmopolitan internationalism in the world. We feel honored that India is the land of origin of Buddha Dhamma, and the International Buddhist Confederation, with the support of Government of India and other like-minded organizations in India and the International Sangha, is working for the promotion of Buddha Sasana in India. On issues such as climate change, environmental degradation, and conflicts in different parts of the world, the International Buddhist Confederation has been making humble efforts to organize discussions, debates, and interaction of senior monks with political leaders and the scientific community in different countries to make them aware of the essence and relevance of Dhamma in dealing with these challenges. Before I conclude, I would like to reassert that Buddha Dhamma has an application today and has a very special significance in the present day because of its association with a set of eternal values. It is therefore our responsibility as Dhamma practitioners to share our thinking, our knowledge, our experience of Dhamma with as many people as possible, so that ultimately the practical teachings of the Buddha continues to reach mankind in every corner of the world to enable them to live a life of peace, happiness, prosperity, universal love, compassion, and harmony, and make the planet worth living. In the end, I would like to thank the International Sangha Forum, the Tibetan Buddhist Center, and the Gandhan Phodrang for organizing this grand event. I would like to end with verse 55 from the 10th chapter of Bodhicharya Vatara of Shanti Deva, which reads as follows. As long as space endures, as long as beings remain, may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. May all beings be happy. Thank you very much. Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you, Mr. Abhijit Halder, the Director General of International Buddhist Confederation, IBC in New Delhi. We all gathered here today with the inspiration, and the main inspiration for our gathering is actually His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, who has encouraged us from a long time ago that discussions between different traditions is urgently needed through his actions and his dialogues that we are come here together today. So on this very auspicious occasion, I would like to humbly request His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama to give the opening address for the International Sangha Forum 2023. I humbly request His Holiness.
편속결례시 준비하고 타양저라고 보면서 멀리시시시 세우도 샤게서 오들로 그 샤세 다 들을 아니다 네 개발전 들으실래요 아니 닝마루 차디요래 이내다 산지선대대기 최지 파식 무춘이 도서 스시로 초대하지 제도와 대전대대기 송디 tumnom되고 추임이 주신 저동의 사게 메셀라 니기 똑바셔나 보면 주니 때부터 저어주선 선대대기 denshi kona maa suni yundu zane ta kanda ane didu sayadi ta rangi shikita kaso shikata ju chinshi maa lobo chigi zhuya machunga che ane so ane marikwe shangwaan tani ane chaisegi 지금 더버 참부셔야다 지금 차단 걸로 해야 돼서 저기 용되게 요래 사들이 인디 좀된되게 나란저다 심정기 지기 랭에 용돼야 돼 좀된되게 취파 주는 다야 요 말이스 나란저 소소랑 게다 상을 하고 있다니 쳐가야 돼 배세리 되버리셔 뭐는 수지 사들이 인도 가는 사모로기 다 철을 태워 연애를 매내를 가다 아다 디보시야 메시지 겨우서 서버지 랑게 쓰는 용소도 닌데 산제 답에서 되지 최캐라네를 말하네를 출로 가리네 다 가다 소소면에 지금이 디벨레 세상에 패저에네 차도 지금 소소하게 이습을 준게 연에 간다 털도 랑이랑 퐁을 시야식이 적도가 그러나 다 된저게네 디벨레 미시바 아니 그래서 투두기다 계획에 세디에 가다 나도 통주기 아니 가다 서버 상고지 타네 샹의 팬심체 샹의 팬디주야 샹의 동에서야 다들 소르샤 점점되게 추기 꼭 인구로디 샹의 팬디주야지 너버 메시야 다들이 엔다디 지 최케라네 최케만하네 지나도 사mol로기 지 밀 샹이야 너버 마시오셰 샹의 그저 투두가 판다 디중나 소소의 생기와 에 차단게 레시라 마사버시 시기나 심기 시디 런식이 용대하지기 심기 시디디기 아니 류기 최대 그랑아라는 놈이 치루스기어데 그 간다 심기 시디 야고 중원이나 대를 하게 치루 야마리 심控制 상황도 다 아니 대사의 상황도 다니 심부이나 아니 지 수수대지 칸드게저로 쇼제위네 더그지기 너트야 가고르도가 다 조조 심기 두어셔야 돼 뺏겨셔 버리셔 저서 안에 시작이 산지심된 대기 디고치 주야다 아니 나나조리야 겨서라나 소리 요마리 나나조랑게 다심된 대기 지 디군기주글 람드나셔티 아주 토망야의 시버셰 아니 바로도 되라 양나양도 상무당 그다 롱레 송거에서야기 지금 롱로 접시어 지고 뭐이고 롱레 송시버 되라 여소서 리베도 샤바셰 상무당나 아니 소소 냠뇽 도네 코코리아 요래라 저불링이 지용 그 돌이네 시안한다바잖아 간다 랑샤 상화로 풍대야 지금 이거여 말아서 통실을 해도 되리 자 되는 이들선 좀 된대기 교든 제우 송샤디 배 개셔 버리셔 아니 랑이기 아니 동에기 주 소소 그게 사셔 동에기 좀 심해져라 동에 연도 애니 공주체 지샹이야 애니 극지샤서 들다 가서 영되기도 봐 자상가 다 개체식 안에도 소소 심기 뭐냐 전에게다 시도해야지 다디 애니 럽치서는 샤나네 랑셰데네 저주치 저주스는 깨버게서 다디 레샤 뭐냐 전에게 랑도 주야이네 샤주고 섬감다 들라가 야마리 샹도 주야이네 샤주고 섬감 들라가지 야마리 자상가 애니 장주 속에 숨는 깨지네 심장 탐저 다게 전도 일 슬디 배 숙셔부도가 디 심제 게 나로리아 동해메데버도 대원도 고고는 송고식을 애니 디이니 디이니 동해리아 대상그 토나마치야 아니 진짜그 토나 랑쇼도 현조사도 저디 얘기도가 자사 랑샤 되네 로로지 자주스는 깨버리기 있어다디 배 책들 내가 쳐버리셔 자주석 가
세바 교르고 인지나와 교르고 세바 단에 댄스 세바 교르고 교리야 돼.
So, first of all, I pay homage to the Buddha, to his body, speech, and mind. And then, to begin with, we are gathered here in this sacred place where Buddha Shakyamuni attained enlightenment. And so, regarding the time that we are in today, we are in a degenerate age. decadent age. Despite that, the Buddha Dharma is shining forth all around the world. And so the teaching of the Buddha, in essence, is what the Buddha himself has stated. The Buddhas do not, the sages do not wash away the sins of sentient beings. They do not remove the suffering of sentient beings with their hands, nor do they transpose their own realization into other beings, but by showing the truth of the reality of truth, he helps beings to liberate, to become liberated. And so, and then the Buddha's, because of that, what the Buddha is saying is that the suffering that we experience is something that the Buddha cannot remove by his hands, nor the causes of suffering, which are the sins, can be washed away with water. But how do we actually create suffering in ourselves and others is due to our own negative emotions. And so because of that, we need to understand that because of our ignorance, we are creating negative karmas. And because of that, we suffer. And therefore, the teaching talks about causality, law of causality itself, which is quite scientific as well. And then the essence of the Buddha's teaching also is stated in this verse where the Buddha says, do not do any evil, cultivate a wealth of virtue, and tame your mind completely. This is the teaching of the Buddhas. And so whether you are a believer or not in a religion doesn't matter. What is important for us to do is to avoid doing bad actions, bad karmas. And because bad karmas not only harm others, but it's also a cause of ruin to oneself as well. And therefore, what the Buddha has told us to practice is that of virtue. And so cultivating a wealth of virtue with a good heart, if you do that, then you will have the positive consequences of that. And so the most important teaching of the Buddha, in essence, is to be of benefit to others rather than harming them. And so this does not only confine to people following religion, but also non-believers can do that. And so we should do our best to help other sentient beings, to benefit other sentient beings, rather than harming them. And so by doing that, what you actually gain is peace of mind within yourself through the practice of virtue and avoiding non-virtuous actions. And so with that, what happens is with the peace of mind, you also are experience physical health as well. So as a consequence of your peace of mind. And what we usually do is out of anger, attachment, and all these negative emotions, we try to do all kinds of bad things. But that's not what we should do. Even if you may do some prayers, if you are angry, if you are in a state of anger, it doesn't really help. Your prayers will not help. And therefore, what the Dharma in essence is to, what we should do in terms of the Dharma is to first study the Dharma well, and then whatever you have studied, you should reflect on them, and using reasons and logic and so forth, and then apply the teaching within yourself. And we should not just follow the teaching blindly, just resorting to scriptural authority without using our mind and brain. And therefore, what we can see in the world today, if you look around, is that we suffer as a consequence of our bad actions. And so negative actions must be avoided. And we should not create bad karma, because bad karma brings suffering to ourselves and others. And so in terms of the practice of the Dharma, in broadly thinking, what you should try to do is to cultivate altruistic attitude, the spirit of enlightenment or awakening, which is bodhicitta. As we say the prayer, in order to fulfill the goals or interests of oneself and others, may I generate bodhicitta. And also, having generated this supreme state of mind, or called altruism, the bodhicitta, may I call upon all sentient beings as my guests to the feast of the enlightenment. And so just as we pray like that, we should always try to be kind to others, be beneficial, be of help to others, rather than harming them. Nice.
Jason. 차로.
Let it us.
아니 장주 초기 스미네 끼끼네 심전 탐제 다근 런도 녀를 슬럽디다 슉슉슉슉도 와. 심전 탐제 칸에 샤바서도 마세베 지금 난게 태도고 심전 상물로 랑기 배 즉 편도 셔서다 샴데 슈세 아니 전 조인 삼보시 랑션 되네 러브 장주 초기 스미네 끼끼네 심지어 탐제 다근 정도 게 다디 가슴 측서 뭐니 뭐 정수 최초 이용 제벌 예스 정수 선배 줘봐 런기민지 퍼센트 현기민지 가서 퍼센트도 아니 도시서 디지털이 아니 모더라 샤나 팬들 주비야 그 체도 미기네 디리 냠는 쳐야지 지기는 소소 소사야다 저장야다 제 뭐서 소소 강도 요새 사자들이야 지 디기용야 카이라요시 땡데르샤 사들이 인도 장주고 심스다디 배 모습에다 판도 셔보 유도 버셔
As we say this prayer, may I, having generated this supreme mind of bodhicitta, may I call upon all sentient beings as my guests. And so this is a very powerful prayer, a powerful practice as well. It's not just in words that we are saying this, but we actually think of serving all sentient beings without any exception. And so all sentient beings are the ones to whom we give service. We serve them is what we aim to do. And therefore, it is a very powerful practice. And with regard to the practice of bodhisattvas, we have the 6 paramitas, the perfections, and also the 4 ways of attracting disciples. And so if you do these practices, the 6 paramitas of perfections and the 4 ways of attracting disciples, by focusing your mind on serving other sentient beings, what happens is you also accrue merit and wisdom, as well as wherever you are, the place that you reside in also becomes a very peaceful place. And so in this way, we are able to help all beings around us through this kind of practice.
Listen. 자상가 지금 샴페인 장주 무슨 시다데 거로 상당히 다 소소 고수는 내가 가려버디 샹도 샹 판도 해야지 삼바지 상부시게 인도 심슈르되네 지금 semna로리야 소소소소 지금 당초를 시켜제 아니 딘데기 심슈타네 지시 나간 내보다 로 지시 내고 지시 다는 내고는 로동에 서쇼사 또 쇼주 누가 쳐버려도 와 다데 뭐 저주서보다 들 지금 쇼주 인도 쓰기매디 다 장주고 상무 쇼주단 게 다 되게 뭐나 전에 그 심수 차야 켜는 누가 아니 심자 3월로 년도 때 셔버지기 그러나 변화로 강에 먹고 차니 되게 용기할 뒤에 사모노 그 니지기야기 규기는 치면 뭐도 지금 가서를 배고 콩으로 쌓여서 켜내면도 서다 자주 쓰다 되게 뭐냐 전에 차도 심혈 심기와 심기에 단에 류기 중어디디 념체 뭐도 전에 아주 치주사디 약슈디 자주 쓰고나 치주 약슈를 샤 심혈 차데디 중어디디 커념 에너지 지금 롱파리아가 서로 착시 파리아가 섬제 견해면도가 쉬우지 야오르샤 세상 알아서다 별이야 에네 지미 최저 성사가 몇거든에 제 메다 가서리 야사다 총색겨 버리되 이내 소소 부이지 에네 수두스 에네 되네 켄지 쉬어서 별 패배 거돌이야 지나서 부이 수두도 왔어 다 빨리라고 하면도 레자라고 하면도 지나서 부이랑 그 전에 에네 슝디수 교르체 에네 태성 공송 냠네 지기나 야오 연구를 해송네 가당 가나서 부이 나눠려야 건주 땡주디디 다 자하게 빨리다 레자나를 여대버서 교셔 차대야리 뭔지 벽이 최제서 거리성부당도가 딱 가나서 안된 매력되기 뒤수 년장 되지 갈리잖아요 간서 벽이 산재 외쳐던 르슌디 무튼이 야고저 심투나 더리게서 소소 셈기와 미몽골의 편타지기 에네 김전 현실이야 더리게서 뭐고 얇게 전부 친세 에네 뭐고 얇게 장장을 타라 미소 다 이단 체대로 소리 적도가 사다 드르지 거도데 가다에네 심기 시디야지 심기 시디야 생에디 너는 저때 버시고 게 하메데 봐 소소표가 로장네 애니 심기 시디지 용투야지 땡거에 내서로 와 사들이 인정 가나서 데이터 처저 상월로 그저 톱두기 심뒤야지기 샴배 장주고 쓰고 돌아 심슈로 깨니 지기나 차도 심기와 애니 류대오 애니 처르는 처럼 장주고 심기 네베 애니 단조그 류된 상보 탐니 애니 타르에니 뭐뭐서 상게 돼야지 야 이거 인도 이 장주고 심시자 쉬우죠 사셔버려서 사들이 인도 나랑만의 샤샤네 장주고 심 고미야 되베 쉬우지 개셔볼 수 있게 지기에 그 편도에 쉬우지도 산 사모로에니 토르장 애는 저불이 되가라 지 최대 명예의 미지네 서버 상구체 샤는 너버 마셔체 술이 내 벽에 판 따야지게 되지 지하주 좋나 점니 시디스야디 디선의 연구를 애는 알아서 원에 밀루터버 더다 되버지기 연구를 밀루터네 땡상부 되지 이거를 애네 차단게 샤워도다나 배심 겨울이셔 어다 그저 도도게 나서 자주고 심 애네 공부시 대에네 가서 그저 도도게 보게 가서 그래 소소 신규 자주고 심 봐도 지기 제트야시기 나래냐네 디치기에 처로서로 인해 대 대대지 중통의 디판도도가 가열라열이샤 청주소가 쓰면 기계는 쓰면 탐제 다근정도니 청주 최소 용 잡을게 졸라 변신 상계적으로 쇼스 나래 자주 있음 배 하나님 인생 뒤도 자주 있음 공부하래 다 애네 동리 나와요 그러 즉 이 가서로 서울 풀리기도 와 자다 다 안듣지 않아야 제 강에 여대버지 심스직의 신의 세대 야말이 근데 인도 저람 연전은 라라도 카고르도 못하시 세다가라야 사람 저도야 저기 성리야 뽑아다 이지실기도 와 뭐냐 전에 그배 애네 미스턴도 되버지고 요리 아니 샤네 이네 판도시하시기
So, since the time of Songtsen Gampo, during the time of Songtsen Gampo, indeed, the Tibetan king, Songtsen Gampo, in the 7th century, what happened was the new Tibetan script was devised, a writing system was devised. And because of that, when in the 8th century, Master Shantarakshita came to Tibet, he was quite impressed with the Tibetan language, and he actually told the Tibetans that you do not have to resort to either Sanskrit or Pali to study and reflect and meditate on the Dhamma, but you could translate the texts that are in Sanskrit and other languages into Tibetan for your study and practice of the Dharma. And therefore, we should feel proud as Tibetans. We should be proud of what we have as translations of the Kanjur and Tenjur literature that is in Tibetan. And so if we could preserve it well as Tibetans, it doesn't help only us, Tibetans alone, but it will be of great contribution to the well-being of the world at large. And therefore, what we see today in the world is that there has been so much materialistic kind of development around the world, and people seem to be fed up with this kind of lifestyle. And therefore, at such a time, what we can do is use the Dharma, the teaching that we have, the tradition of the Buddha Dharma that we have to serve the world at large. And if all of us could cultivate this altruistic attitude or intention of bodhicitta within ourselves, in terms of helping and serving the world at large, then what we can actually experience is a good physical health as a result of our practice of bodhicitta, and you feel joyful at heart, and then not only in this life you'll have these benefits, but also throughout your lifetimes, life after life, you'll be able to continue with this practice of bodhicitta. And then finally, of course, we reach that of bodhicitta, Buddhahood, sorry. And therefore, the bodhicitta is very precious practice, and I find it very helpful for myself. Through this practice of bodhicitta, I feel good health myself and feel relaxed and so forth. And therefore, I ask you to keep this in mind and not ever think of harming or hurting other sentient beings, but always think of benefiting them. And so if we do that, if all of us practice bodhicitta, this altruistic intention to become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, in the end, what we can also expect is a world peace in the world as well. And so in this way, having found a human life now, you will be able to make this life a meaningful one as well. And so otherwise, if you have to waste your life through your negative emotions by being attached or becoming angry and jealous and so forth, it's quite sad. And so we should try to practice bodhicitta, I myself find the practical use and benefit of it. And so as I practice bodhicitta, as well as cultivate this wisdom of emptiness, I find these very beneficial to myself. And so from my own experience, I can tell that it will be beneficial for you as well if you cultivate and could develop bodhicitta and the view of emptiness within yourself. Of course, in my case, I lack this samadhi, single-pointed concentration. Otherwise, I could expect to be, making great strides. And so, whatever practice I have been able to do and cultivate and develop bodhicitta and the view of emptiness that I have been able to do, I feel also quite proud. And so also through this practice of bodhicitta, what happens is you're able to build inner strength within yourself. And that also gives self-confidence. And therefore, through this practice, what you can actually also pray is to to do this kind of prayer, which says, as long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to serve, to elevate the suffering of all these sentient beings as well. And so in this way, I wish to ask you to keep this teaching on bodhicitta in your mind.
나도 능주 싫은 나라리야 소야데 대하다 가데 바라 삼거데 무디 있어서 디 따다 지갈레 라랭게 돼야지 장주섬 숙천보지 요한데도 아니 오만주보 때 사오시로 때 저기도잖아요. 아니 동네기 따와데 거로질래 용기 된저지기 도안에 아니 리베기야 사람 저도야지 배시 녀디 로자데 카유라요 로지 배치 처기 안 장상월로 아니 공부시쇼
This mantra in the Heart Sutra, Tatyatha Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhiswaha. What this mantra refers to is the five-tiered path that culminates in Buddhahood. And so regarding the practice of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, I feel that I have quite a strong experience of bodhicitta within myself, and also by relying on texts such as Mula Madhyamaka Karika and Madhyamaka Avatara and so forth. These texts on Madhyamaka, I feel that I have quite a strong experience of the view of emptiness as well. And so what I'm trying to say is that you should also cultivate bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, the correct view of emptiness based on these classic texts, and so that you'll be also able to have the same kind of experience yourself.
뭐야? 다들 말해. 지 샹레야 냠네 뜻이 저걸 쓰잖아요. 그냥 말해 냠네 뜻이 예대버지 거르마도 소소 냠네 가게 매비실자 아니 밀리야 뜻이 저걸 쓰면 편도케면도가. 생에 자주 그 쓰면 냠네 쳐도 동이 그 다와 냠네 쳐야지. 저게 라마네 소지 딱와 싸면 안 돼요. 뒤석이 소사 집중 요구하라 시 간다다 스럽네스럽 가서를 깨내 상보지기 샹든 무튼이 다셔보 용서야지기 아니 말음 돌 뒤는서는 시신 난가 내보다 저 시신 내죠 지시 다내네 교네 저동에 서울 쇼사 어디 아니 숨쉬쉬게 인거도
And so in order to share one's experience with others, of course, one has to have the experience oneself. And therefore, with regards to the practice of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, I myself do this practice of these principles on a daily basis, right from the beginning of the day. In the morning when I wake up, I contemplate bodhicitta and the view of emptiness. And through this, what happens is that I am able to collect and accumulate merit and wisdom myself, as well as purify negativities from within my mind's stream. And so because of that, I'll be able to tread along the path, go to the higher experiences, and my experience will increase and develop further and further and culminate in bodhicitta. And therefore, I make this prayer as well, in the service of others, by intending to serve others, as long as space remains, as long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. And so in this way, we should carry on with our daily life for the benefit of others.
다 간다 랑 심뷰 되 타네 샤네 예네고 무슈 규수네 판도 용퇴하시도가 랑 심 모두 샤네 판다스게디 지금 저면 서로 차려야지 이제 인도 자주가 생각나면 해야 돼배 개심불이 대처로 상황으로 공부장 and sendiza masebe chisinanga masega phaliya shengona janege shambe tu sabashi simshukiadi lo jangna yungduwa ngadi domaine gebe amdu bogujure and ko rimbe ge pesakro chite tene chanju ko samukoro stanyundu solo de shile yimbuwa sa de yindu kya samologe kada chaju ko semgda da dongni ge dawaria gezo tudugi 공부하고 sheso oda de tembe shamdi diri da shan la phando siati di thane yogre she shanda shuake mendo 상으로 저스텔 샤이
And so, if you wish to serve others, if you wish to help and benefit others, what you should be able to do is, first of all, discipline your mind, control your mind, and tame your mind. And so, without being able to do that, there's no way you can, serve others well. And therefore, in the practice of the Dharma, bodhicitta and the view of emptiness becomes very crucial. And so I wish to ask my Dharma friends to keep this in mind and understand that, it's not only for this life alone that you will be able to benefit yourself and others, but throughout your lifetimes in the future as well. You should have think of a long-term project to bring happiness and well-being to other sentient beings in the future lives as well. So I am someone from the northeastern part of Tibet, Amdo region, born there, and then I came to the central Tibet and then pursued my study of the Dharma. And through having done my studies, I also contemplated and meditated on the principles of the Dharma. And because of having spent so much time for many decades, and I can feel the consequence or the effect of the Dharma in terms of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness within myself. And so because of that, I'm able to share this experience with you. And so I urge my Dharma friends, brothers and sisters, to also contemplate the bodhicitta and the view of emptiness as much as you can, to the best of your ability. And so if you are able to do that, then you will not only help yourself, but also in this life, but also you benefit yourself in the futures as well. And it will be also a service to the Dharma as well as a service to sentient beings.
And Zambuling Digangi, Chikapali, Chuju, the Legshag, Chuju, and Ramada Yoradi, in it, that someone input the Drisha, Chanju, some Komia, the Zorisha. And then Nag and Yamnishim Chigo, the Ine, Nag, Hakom, Nan, the Sha, Catchable, the Chanju, some manner, and Dashumaya, Rujurkis, and so on, and Nag, Shivitan, the Ne, the Ine. 동질기야 소심하도 이 샤판도 겸두가 소 장죽 좀 고민하듯 쉬우지 계속으로 나랑은 샤샤네 장죽 좀 고민 저 냥냥이 거를래대 열라 저 카이 라요게 판도도.
So, of course, we have the Pali and the Sanskrit Buddhist traditions, but the essence of both the traditions is the practice of altruism, bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, even if you may do recitation of mantras over many times over, it will not help. In fact, there is saying that through the recitation of, so much in the recitation of the mantras, you could, without having this altruistic attitude to benefit others, you may be born as ghosts. And so what use is that then? And therefore, the most important practice that we should focus on is this bodhicitta.
Thank you very much, Your Holiness, for your most insightful lessons on how to develop a more resilient mind through the application of warm-heartedness and bodhicitta.
Thank you, Your Holiness. And as we have so many distinguished guests today, so now we would like to invite Venerable Ruqing, the Abbot of Bliss and Wisdom Monastic Community from Taiwan, to give a 5-minute greeting to our gatherings here. So please, Venerable Ruqing.
三界导师，人天一护，尊贵的观音尊者，还有来自世界各国的佛教领袖、僧前们，以及居士大德们，大家吉祥，扎西德。观音尊者达赖喇嘛倡导宗教和谐。就佛教而言，本师释迦牟尼佛舍弃王位，出家修行，为人类离苦得乐，找到一条真正解脱之路。我们都是佛陀的弟子，因此不管是巴利语系或梵语语系佛教徒，特别是出家人，能够相互交流、了解，乃至互相欣赏、学习，则全球佛教徒 可以团结一致，进一步积极发挥促进宗教和谐、世界和平的功效。如今瘟疫流行、战乱频仍，各种灾难不断，许多众生在痛苦之中挣扎。有一些战争是因为宗教因素，有一些是因为地缘政治，还有各种贫穷、灾难，是因为温室效应引起的气候变迁所致。在这样的时刻，除了探讨佛教戒定慧三学的教义，也讨论佛法在当今社会相关性，还有应用，以及佛教智慧、空性在当今世界的实际意义。这样的论坛非常有意义。在此代表台湾佛教徒感谢大悲观音尊者的倡导，以及主办单位的发心，敬祝论坛圆满成功。谢谢。
Thank you, Venerable Rujing. We now have Pra Dam Bodhivong, Chief Abbot of the Royal Thai Monastery, Bodh Gaya, Bihar, to present the greetings.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. ขอกราบนมัสการเจ้าพระคุณองค์ไตรลามะที่ 14และคณะพระภิกษุสงฆ์คณะภิกษุณีแม่ชีนักบวชพร้อมด้วยแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านจากทั่วทุกมุมของโลกวัดไทยพุทธคยาขอน้อมต้อนรับทุกท่านสู่แดนพุทธภูมิในการสัมมนาเวทีสังฆนานาชาติที่พุทธคยาพุทธศักราช 2566 นี้ซึ่งมีความสำคัญและมีโอกาสอันดีในการเสวนาในการที่จะเสวนาแลกเปลี่ยนทางวัฒนธรรมรวมถึงวิถีแห่งพุทธในระดับนานาชาติอันจะทำให้เกิดความเข้าใจและเป็นการเผยแผ่คำสอนของพุทธศาสนาให้กว้างไกลออกไปขอเจริญพรทีมงานคณะผู้จัดการในการประชุมในครั้งนี้แต่ขอให้งานสัมมนาประสบความสำเร็จดังความตั้งใจของเจ้าพระคุณองค์ไตรลามะที่ 14สืบต่อไปขอบพระคุณครับ
Thank you, Pradhamma Bodhivong, the Chief Abbot of the Royal Thai Monastery of Bodh Gaya. Next, I would like to invite Venerable Khenpo Sonam Bumden, the Chief of Research and Translation Office of J. Khenpo Bhutan, to give his greetings to the Ayaka. Thank you.
Your Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama, respected venerables, Sangha members, Honorable Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, distinguished guests, and my Dharma brothers and sisters, it is an honor for me to represent His Holiness, the 70th Je Khenpo, Tuku Jigme Chodrak, the Supreme Spiritual Abbot of Bhutan, in this very prestigious International Sangha Forum, bridging traditions, embracing modernity, a dialogue on the Buddha's teachings in today's world. I take this opportunity to convey His Holiness, the Je Khenpo's warm greetings to all of you gathered here. And if I may share a prayer that the Je Khenpo composed, a prayer called Rime Yongzogi Temba Jebi Monlam, a prayer for the flourishment of the complete non-sectarian teachings of the Buddha. I quote, Jingye Chutsul Namang Tadechang Tamche Shilam Dewui Ngor Chik Gelwi Temba Darge Yune Shok Kangyang Dongak Chutsul Tayeshin Tsulne Tesam Gomla Jorwa Sok Sangye Drubi Tabla Rochikpa Yongzok Temba Darge Yune Shok Temba Rinchin Yundung Nebi Tu Nemuk Tsungi Jikpa Rapshine Deki Zogdin Sarbi Gatin La Rawa Chubi Dule Yulme Show. Unquote. And now, if I may translate, although there are many diverse traditions of teachings, they are of single essence with regard to the foundation, path, and fruition. May the diverse tradition of teachings of the Buddha ever last. Infinite are the sutra and tantric teachings. Yet they all guide individuals to hearing, contemplation, meditation, and so forth. In terms of the techniques to accomplish the completely awakened Buddhahood, they are of one taste. By the power of the continued flourishing of the diverse traditions, teachings of the Buddha, may all fears of diseases, famine, and war be completely pacified. May all beings be blessed with prosperity, peace, and perfect happiness. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Khenpo Sonam Bumdenla. Now we have the greetings by Priya Edimuni Mong Sang, the president of the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society, USA.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ I would like to respect His Holiness Dalai Lama. I would like to respect High Honest Venerable Mahasangha from any countries in the world. Distinguished lady and gentlemen, Obasak Obasika, on behalf of the Cambodian Mahasangha and the Cambodian Buddhist monk in USA that consists of 142 temples and Cambodian Buddhist temple in Kingdom of Cambodia, about 6,000 temples. I am very honored and delighted to participate in this very auspicious to pay my utmost respect to His Holiness Dalai Lama and all venerable Mahasangha from all around the world. This year's 18th International Tibetan Chanting ceremony organized by Cambodian Mahasangha has just finished successfully. We opened the very first page of Vinaya's Pedikas for our chanting this year and all the year. Today we come together to the discussion about Vinayas that is so wonderful for Buddhism and all Buddhist leaders around the world to bring awareness and their respective followers. I do believe that the unity of Sangha today will share more light and wisdom to empower the practice of Buddhism around the world. We unite in harmony with all Sangha, regardless of Nikayas, as the children of the Buddha. Thought we may chant to different language, but the voice of Dhamma is only one and for all. On behalf of Cambodian Mahasangha, I would like to pray for peace and especially for the great health and long life for His Holiness Dalai Lama. Be blessed by the power of the Projem Buddha and Dhamma Sangha. I wish everyone and by the power of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, bless all venerable Mahasangha and ladies and gentlemen. You have for blessing, longevity, health, strength, and happiness. Anumodana.
Thank you, Pra Indamuni Mengsong, the president of the Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society of USA. Next, we have a message from His Eminence Khenpo Nomun Han, Geshe Jetsun Dorji, the abbot of Kanden Tenshekling Monastery for Mongolia. And the message will be read by Venerable Batchulan Mukbata as a representative of the abbot of the Kanden Tenshekling Monastery. Thank you.
Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. In the noble presence of Your Holiness, Your Eminences, Mahasanghas, Honorable Shri Pema Khandu, and brothers and sisters. I'm privileged to read out the congratulatory message from Hamunamohang Kishil Harmba Japsandorj Tolumracha. The letter begins here. To the organizing committee of the International Sangha Forum 2023 Bodh Gaya. Dear highly respected organizing committee members, on this very auspicious occasion of the event International Sangha Forum 2023 Bodh Gaya, I am truly privileged to extend my heartiest congratulations on your astonishing initiative to bring international Buddhist leaders and Mahasanghas together for the promotion of the potential collaboration between the three major Buddhist traditions derived from the Sanskrit and Pali traditions. I believe that this International Sangha Forum 2023 Bodh Gaya, blessed by His Holiness, the emanation of Avalokiteshvara, the root guru, will definitely serve as an international platform for promoting and strengthening collaborations among global Buddhists. Also, I am happy to learn that the International Sangha Forum 2023 Bodh Gaya is going to highlight the importance of the preservation of the purity of Vinaya tradition, the very basis of Buddhism, as well as another important topic, the role of Buddhism in the 21st century. I hope that during this three-day international conference, many important presentations that could be answers to today's challenges will be delivered by prominent researchers as well as eminent scholars from Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana traditions. Lastly, availing myself of this opportunity, I would like to thank you all for your sincere dedication to benefiting the Bodhisasana and sentient beings. May the noble Dharma flourish into the 10 directions spontaneously. Yours in the noble Dharma, 30th Hamunamonghang Kishilharamba Japsandurche Tolamrakcha, the abbot of Kandan Dikchinla Monastery, the head of Central Mongolian Buddhists. The letter ends here. And бодийн дэд эрдэнэс тэглэн төрөөгүй нэгэнд нь төрөх болтугай, төрсөн нэгэнд нь эс дороотож, улам бүрөөдөө аривдан дэлгэрэх болтугай. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Venerable Bachulum Mukbadar, for reading the message of Khenpo Nomen Han Geshe Jezun Dorje. Next, we have the greetings by Aga Mahapandita Venerable Kumdin Nya, Deputy Sangharaja of Myanmar, Member of State Sangha Mahanayaka Council, Yangon.
Mula jadi tangado shintumya mya Poesi di ma tawishi bogumya Edi domya alongo Bengalaba lo uzabdama no kun sada abadi.
Venerable members of Sangha, dignitaries,
distinguished guests, and brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. First of all, I would like to express my greeting in Myanmar. Mingalaba. Mingalaba means auspicious to all of you.
နိုင်ငံတည်တည်မှကြောက်တော်မူသောကြသည့်ဖျားရှင်၏သားတော်သမီးတော်များကိုဗုဒ္ဓမြတ်စွာပွင့်တော်မူရာဗုဒ္ဓဂယာမြေမြတ်မဟာဝယ်ကျင်းပပြုလုပ်သည့်နိုင်ငံတကာသံဃာအစည်းအဝေးကြီး၌တဆုတဝေဒီစုံစုံညီညီဖူးတွေ့ရ၍ပြည်တော်စုသမတမြန်မာနိုင်ငံတော်သံဃာတော်များ၏ကိုယ်စားအနေဖြင့်ရောတပည့်တော်ကိုယ်တိုင်အနေဖြင့်ပါအာရဝန္တရှိလာပါကြောင်းပြောကြားလိုပါသည်
I also personally would like to express my heartfelt appreciation as well as to convey the heartfelt appreciation of Sangha community from Myanmar for witnessing such a great congregation of sons and daughters of the Buddha from the different nation countries.
တပည့်တော်များသည်ပြောင်းသွေးအပြင်ကွဲပြားမှုရှိ냐တော်လဲဗုဒ္ဓဖျားရှင်၏သားတော်သမီးတော်များအနေဖြင့်တူညီကြပါသည်
We are the one in terms of being sons and daughters of the Buddha, though we are different in terms of appearance.
ပါဠိဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာတက္ကသဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာအပြင်ကွဲပြားမှုရှိ냐တော်လဲနိဗ္ဗာန်တည်းဟူသောရည်မှန်းချက်ပန်းတိုင်သို့ရောက်လိုသောဆန္ဒကတူညီကြပါသည်
We share the same goal to attain Nibbana, though we are different in terms of Pali and Sanskrit traditions.
သို့ပါ၍နိုင်ငံတကာသံဃာအစည်းအဝေးကြီးသို့ကြွားတော်မူလာကြသည့်ဗုဒ္ဓ၏သားတော်သမီးတော်များသည်ဗုဒ္ဓမြတ်စွာသာသနာတော်မြတ်ကြီးအရှိသဖြင့်စီပင်ပြန့်ပွားတိုးတက်ပါစေရန်အချင်းချင်းညီညီညွတ်ညွတ်ဆွေးနွေးတိုင်ပင်ဖြေကြမည်ဟုယုံကြည်ပါကြောင်းပြောကြားရင်းတပည့်တော်၏နှုတ်ခွန်းဆက်စကားကိုနိဂုံးချုပ်အပ်ပါသည်ဖျားကိုယ်စိတ်နှပြကျမ်းမာချမ်းသာကြပါစေ
Therefore, I would like to conclude my greeting by expressing my deeply held belief that sons and daughters of the Buddha gathered in this international Sangha forum will harmoniously discuss and find a common answer for the promotion and propagation of the Buddhism. May all beings be well and happy. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Chajin Lama, Geshe Lobsang Shodak, the head Lama of the Buddhists of Kalmykia, Republic of Kalmykia, Russia, to give his greetings to the assembly. Thank you.
Бурхан мөргмөө, номд мөргмөө, бурсан хорд мөргмөө, мендет квинта Далай Бахши, уважаемые специальные приглашенные, а также участники форума.
I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. Honorable Your Holiness the Dalai Lama, as well as delegates participating here at the International Sangha Forum, I would like to convey my greetings to all of you.
В этом прекрасном месте проводится такой большой форум с очень важным, значимой темой. Традиционно, например, калмыки изучают санскритскую традицию в тибетских монастырях. Это традиционно калмыки издревле, например, в частности, изучали глубоко философию буддизма в монастырях, в прекрасном монастыре Палден-Дрибунгаман.
On this extraordinary gathering of various traditions gathered here in the holy place, it is an honor for me to be part of this forum. Historically, the Buddhists of the Kalmyk Republic have a very deep relationship, in particularly with the Sanskrit tradition, going on towards the Tibetan Buddhist tradition.
В современное время также у нас появляется возможность знакомиться с палийской традицией. В частности, приглашаем ученых, монахов из Шри-Ланки, которые проводят у нас практические занятия буддизма.
In modern day times, we have had the honor of inviting monks from the Pali tradition to Republic of Kalmykia to conduct various lectures as well as seminars for our Buddhist public.
Хотел бы пожелать крепкого здоровья и долгих лет жизни Его Святейшеству Далай Ламе XIV и также всем участникам форума плодотворной работы. Спасибо за внимание.
On behalf of all Buddhists of Russia, I would like to convey our hardest and best wishes to the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, as well as to all delegate members who are gathered here for this auspicious occasion. I sincerely thank you, and it's an honor for me to be present here today. Thank you very much, Venerable Shejin Lama, Geshe Lobsang Chöda, for your wonderful speech. And now may I request Venerable Trin Ming Zen, representing Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha, to give his greetings.
Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. The Buddha always emphasized that everything is always changing, impermanence, non-self, and satisfactory. I would, first of all, I would like all of us to practice meditation. 1 minute to share our compassion, love and kindness for all human beings all over the world. Thank you for all your practice. We respected Holiness Dalai Lama, all of the venerable participants, all the Buddhist monks, nuns, or lay people. Today, I present a most venerable Thích Nhật Từ, President Vice Chancellor Vietnam Buddhist University, Vietnam, Vice President Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Ho Chi Minh City, Vice President International Conference India. The Buddhist I would like to introduce topic the Buddhist compass, navigation, morality, and spiritually with reset. The Buddha always emphasized that precept is the basic teachings of Buddha. If we don't have a precept, we can have the wisdom to be long life in this life. That we say practice precept is the basic teachings of Buddha. That especially like Buddhists, we have practiced. We could have 240 reset Vinaya and 227 reset Theravada, so on. Bhikkhunis here in the Bhikkhuni Patimukha with reset around 348, but to 311 Theravada among others. This reset foster discipline, created environment conducive to focus spiritually, practice their dedication, transcension, time offering, endurance, guidance to ethical conducts. Yes, if you practice precept, we can expert to abstaining from harming, living in, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and intoxicant. This fundamental precept provides a strong ethical basis navigation the challenges of this life to expert out free from greed, hatred, ignorance in this life. This is risk we can practice precept. Yes, how lay people practice apply. First of all, we need to embrace precept, the portrait transformative journey, selling uncertainty for the moral clarity, international care of sincere peace, personal kindness for positive societal impact. Yes, reset, wisdom, and service. Yes. A meaningful of Buddhist life is tend beyond personal practice to encompass sincere service, particularly altruistic and the efforts of monastic. There provides refuge, engage charity, service, living being of the Buddha teaching connected between reset, wisdom, and service. It beautifully can help us to get peaceful mind, to help us out free from greed, hatred, ignorance, can help us to get happiness, can help many people all over the world get happy right here and right now. Yes. Lastly, the Buddha always emphasized that not to do evil, to perform good. Purify one is mind. This is teachings of the Buddha. If we are Buddhist monks, nuns, lay people, we should practice, remember the teachings of Buddha. This is the basic teachings of Buddha. We should practice. This is the basic. It has birth to reach, to get the way to have birth to free from greed, hatred, ignorance, to have birth to get compassion, loving kindness. This is the purpose of this life. On behalf of the Venerable Tashi Buddhist Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, I would like to respect it all, Venerable Dalai Lama, or Venerable, or the Buddhist monks, nuns, lay people, to be happy, healthy, mindful. Thank you for your listening. Buddha bless all of you.
Thank you, Venerable Ching Ming Zen, for your wonderful speech. Next, I would like to request Most Venerable Dr. Varkagoda Jnanaratana Mahanayakathero, the Mahanayakathero of Asigiriya chapter of CM Mahanikaya, Sri Lanka, to give his greetings.
සෑම දිනාටම සම්මා සම්බුදු සරණයි. අද ලෞතර බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ බුදු වී වදාළ මේ බුද්ධ ගයාවට රැස්වුනේ ලෝකවාසී සියලුම ආගම් තේරවාදී මහායාන තන්ත්‍රයාන වජ්‍රයාන ආදී බුදුදහමේ විවිධ කොටස් වලින් යුක්ත මහා සංඝරත්නය ඉතාම වැදගත් පණිවිඩයක් දීම සඳහායි. මේ සියලුම මහා සංඝරත්නය සමගියෙන් යුක්තව ජීවත් වීම වාසය කිරීම ඉතාම වැදගත් කියන එක සඳහන් කිරීමටයි. අපි දන්නවා ලෝකයේ ජනතාව බොහොම අසමගියෙන් ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. භික්ෂුන් වහන්සේලා හැටියට අපි සෑම දෙනාම සමගි සම්පන්නව කටයුතු කරන්නට බෞද්ධ ජනතාවට මෙන්ම ලෝකයට ඉගැන්විය යුතුයි කියන එක විශේෂයෙන් මේ කාලවකවානුවේදී සඳහන් කළ යුතුව තිබෙනවා. අපිට පේනවා ථේරවාදී බුදුදහමට නොයෙක් ආකාරයෙන් විරුද්ධවාදීන් චෝදනා එල්ල කරන අවස්ථා තියෙනවා. ලෞතර බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේට පවා චෝදනා එල්ල කරමින් උන්වහන්සේගේ වටිනා සේවය විශේෂයෙන් අගය කරන්නේ නැතුව ක්‍රියා කරන ආකාරයේ කටයුතු කරන ආකාරයේ දකින්නට ලැබෙනවා. ඒක මහා ඛේදවාචකයක්. ඒ නිසා ථේරවාදී හාමුදුරුවෝ පමණක් නෙවෙයි මහායාන තන්ත්‍රයාන වජ්‍රයාන ආදී විවිධ ආගම් වලින් යුක්ත ඔබ අප සෑම දෙනාම එකමුතු වෙලා එකම භික්ෂු පිරිසක් හැටියට සමගි සම්පන්නව කටයුතු කරනවා නම් ඒක අපිට ලොකු බලයක් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා සියලු දෙනා වහන්සේම එකම බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ ධර්මයේ අදහන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අපි ඔක්කොම එකමින් එක හඬින් එකතුව කටයුතු කළොත් මං හිතනවා ඒ විරුද්ධවාදීන්ගේ තර්ජන ගර්ජන බොහෝ දුරට අඩු කරගෙන සමගි සම්පන්නව හොඳ උසස් මිනිසුන් හැටියට ලෝකයේ සෑම දිනාටම ජීවත් වීමට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙයි කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒ ආකාරය ඉටු කර ගැනීම සඳහා ගිහි පැවිදි ඔබ සෑම දිනාගේම සහයෝගය ඉදිරියට ලැබේවා කියලා ආශිංසනය කරනවා. සෑම දිනාටම සම්මා සම්බුදු සරණයි.
The English translation of Most Venerable Dr. Varakagoda Gnanaratana Mahanayak Thero's address. It is great feeling to witness the forum of this sort is happening around the world. Forums gathered in many countries do conduct religious symposiums in Japan, Thailand, Myanmar, Singapore, Australia, India, and extend up to European countries like France, Germany, even the United Kingdom. The heartwarming fact is that all these symposiums are conducted with the participation of the clergy of all sectors of Buddhism. There is no significant differentiation or disagreements in the objectives of the meetings. They based on the Dhamma taught to us by the Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama attained highest level of wisdom and known to all of us as the Buddha. Buddha means wisdom, knowledge, and intellect mind to see far into the future. His teachings have now been accepted as the principles of philosophical studies in world recognized by many higher educational institutes and universities around the world. The Buddha's teachings were based on suffering, the reason for suffering, and the way out of suffering, which is the noble path to nirvana. He stressed on kindness to fellow human beings, animals, and any form of life that was created on earth. Today, we as human beings have failed to adhere to the cause of harmlessness, and we have now ended up with critical fights, creating war zones in some parts of the world. The cause for this International Sangha Forum, which is held here today in the birthplace of the Buddha, is to brainstorm the dedicated bhikkhus of this world, leaving aside any barriers and differences in the form of Buddhism categorized as Mahayana, Vajrayana, Theravada, etc. We all have one objective and strive to achieve a common goal, that is to spread the teachings of great teacher Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. I congratulate the organizers of the forum for their dedicated efforts and achieving a great result in enhancing opportunities of spreading Buddhism around the world. I wish good health and longevity to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all the Buddhist leaders gathered in this forum. May the blessings of the sacred tooth relic be with you all. Venerable Dr. Varakagadu Sri Jnanaratana Mahanayaka Thero of Siam Mahanikaya, Asgiriya Mahaviharaya, Kandy, Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Dr. Varagoda Jnanaratana Mahayanikatero from Sri Lanka. And next, I would like to invite the welcoming address by Sri Tashi Namgyal, the Honorable Executive Counselor of Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council of Leh, on behalf of the Chairman and Chief Executive Counselor of Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council of Leh, to give the welcoming address. Thank you.
Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. A very good morning to all, and Tashi's Dilek to all of you. And today's chief guest, most respected, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso Chok, and our guest on honor in the event, Honorable Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, Shri Pema Khandu Ji, and His Eminence Rinpoche's Khampo Geshes on the dais, and His Eminence Rinpoche Lanjas, and Bhikkhu and Bhikkhunis from all over the world present here. I, on behalf of Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council, Leh, and people of UT Ladakh, would like to my warmest welcome to all of you in joining the extended family here at International Sangha from 2023. So on this beautiful day, by the blessing of Triple Gem, all of us gathered here in the primary focus of the conference is to develop ongoing dialogue and collaboration between practitioners of the Pali traditional and Southeast and South Asian countries of the India, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Indonesia, and those of the Sanskrit tradition from Tibetan, Bhutan, Nepal, Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Russia, Mongolia, and other parts of the world. I hope the monks, nuns, scholars, and speakers from the different Buddhist traditions around the world will start the discussion on finer aspects of the Vinaya rules and role of Buddhism in the 21st century in these 3 days of the conference. I'm sure this conference will identify and highlight the benefit of these studies and practice that are common to all the traditions, as well as develop an appreciation and understanding of the strength found within this tradition, which are viewed as being different. I wish our primary focus to the fulfill His Holiness' advice and wish to develop an ongoing Pali Sanskrit dialogue and which cultural exchange, collaboration among the practitioners of the Pali and Sanskrit monastic, particularly in the topic of Vinaya, to foster understanding of the tradition practices. And finally, I would like to sincere my gratitude to main organizer of this beautiful event, Office of the His Holiness Dalai Lama, International Buddhist Confederation IBC, and Tibetan Buddhist Center from Singapore and Malaysia, and likewise co-organizer Tibet House Delhi, the Dalai Lama Center for Tibetan and Ancient Indian Wisdom, Bodh Gaya, and Foundation for Buddhist Brotherhood Sri Lanka for inviting us as a part of this event and organizing such an important conference in today's world. So finally, in this world, I pray my prayer and wish to long live His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Long live His Holiness 14th Dalai Lama. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sri Tashi Namgyal, for your speech. And may I now request Honorable Sri Pema Khandu, Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, to address the gathering.
His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Reverend Rinpoches and Buddhist scholars from all over the world, delegates, monks and nuns present here. Firstly, I would like to wish you all a very warm welcome and Tashi Dile. I would like to begin my speech by thanking His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama for blessing us, guiding us and setting the tone for this 3-day International Sangha Forum Conference. It's a privilege and a distinct honor for me to be part of this International Sangha Forum in the holy land of Bodh Gaya, where Lord Buddha attained enlightenment. I am thankful that many such programs are being organized in the line with the vision of His Holiness the Dalai Lama under the World Buddhist International Programs. I resound fully with the objectives of the conference to develop ongoing dialogue and collaboration between practitioners of the Pali tradition of Southeast Asian countries like India, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Indonesia, and those of Sanskrit tradition like Tibet, Bhutan, Nepal, Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Russia, Mongolia, and other parts of the world. I am informed that close to around 2,000 monks and nuns and scholars from Buddhist tradition around the world have assembled here to discuss the finer aspects of the 3 higher trainings of the Vinaya rules, Samadhi and the Prajna, as well as the role of Buddhism in the 21st century. I look forward to such enriched discussion and interaction with monks, nuns, and Buddhist scholars from around the world. I am filled with immense happiness and humility at being part of this crucial conference, uniting our monastic voices from Buddhist tradition across the world and foreseeing rich dialogue and collaboration. We are in an age where sharing and exchanging knowledge and wisdom to create a unified voice have always helped us to fight our adversaries such as ignorance, violence, injustice, economic disparity, and social discord. This approach is of paramount importance even for the nation and world at large. Today, we are in an era of global problems, conflict, and disruptions. Peaceful existence of fellow human beings are threatened in many parts of the world. In such a situation, the need of honor is to strengthen global cooperation, to solve common pressing issues through Buddha's teaching of Karuna and non-violence. The central theme of International Sangha Forum is Bridging Traditions, Embracing Modernity, a dialogue on the Buddha's teaching in today's world. It is an excellent opportunity for everyone to collectively work out the ways to apply teachings of the Buddha not only in individuals' daily life but also in policy making at the highest level. My state, Arunachal Pradesh, has a long and glorious association with Buddhism. While Buddhist teaching faced a decline in the Indian subcontinent by the 12th century, Arunachal Pradesh emerged as a sanctuary of this ancient wisdom. It is a living religious culture in various parts of Arunachal Pradesh. We have Monpa, Sherdukpen, Memba, Khamba, and Mayor tribes who practice Tibetan Mahayana Buddhism. That was preached by revered Guru Padmasambhava in the 8th century AD. Theravada Buddhism in Arunachal Pradesh made its way between 13th and 18th century, primarily through Buddhist groups from Southeast Asia, especially Burma. Theravada Buddhist tradition is predominantly followed by Thai Khamti, Singpho, and Tikak Tangsa tribe in eastern Arunachal Pradesh. Their practice embodies the oldest surviving form of Buddha Dharma in the world, emphasizing the original Pali scripts and teachings of the Shakyamuni Buddha. The legendary 17th Tawang Monastery is the fountainhead of spiritual life of the Gelugpa sect of the Mahayana school of Buddhism and house valuable antiques, books, and manuscripts. We have also established a Central Institute of Himalayan Cultural Studies in Dahong, dedicating to education and research of Buddhist philosophies and culture. The Pali Vidyapit at Namsai in eastern Arunachal is doing a commendable job in preserving and promotion of Pali heritage in this state. Being a Buddhist myself, I firmly believe that Buddhism is not only a religion, but it's also a perfect way of life that helps an individual to manage stress, anxiety, and other mental health challenges that are prevalent in the modern world. As such, the importance of Buddhist philosophy in shaping our response to these and other contemporary challenges is paramount. As a 21st century Buddhist, we need to embody a harmonious blend of ancient wisdom, of Buddhist value, of compassion, and ethical living to deal with contemporary challenges. I am sure that this forum of Buddhist scholars from all over the world would work towards universalization, the values of Buddhism, including non-violence, religious harmony, and transgress the existing sectarian and geographical boundaries. I call upon all delegates, Sangha members, Dharma practitioners at this forum to collectively explore common issues, work together to deal with misinformation, polarization, and technological challenges, and develop a better way forward based on universal values of Buddha Dharma. Let this become our shared ideals and values leading to the path of integrity with course of compassion and wisdom. Let us work towards building a better future for all. Long live His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sri Pema Khantu, Honorable CM of Arunachal Pradesh. And before we come near to the conclusion of today's inaugural session, we have the extremely good fortune to be blessed with hearing from His Holiness the Dalai Lama again, to encourage and to enlighten us with his infinite wisdom and compassion.
저상아 식카시 순이 되죠. 아니, 그냥 당고대 아주 침내 어려도 좋아서 아니 물미 그 전부 쌈그 미쳐봐. 태성 공성 야마저 셔과디 계속 쇼르샤. 다처로 제바서 마도 지금 사무동야의 믹스에게 지금 뭐죠나 그 지금도 봐. 디 사물로게 아니 지 다철로 제바소도 마사베 삼루디 교회 여대베지기 된나고래 다 되나마 아니 산제베 최근 나라로야 삼금리베 고디 시우지기 십사고다 그 시기 카이라요 차 여대베지기 판도 쉬우시도가 서저지 인도 철 대바 연애를 매내를 간다 지금 산제베 슝거 나라나 타월 별을 여대베 남베 슝도서 나라네 삼금리베 고리야 지 14고 돌마 드셔 여대베 디디 아니 찬저 미저서 단단식이 있나 판도요리 더리께서 천집에 나네 지금 상관을 리뷰 거든데 나 투세 계시 정해진데 뭔가 용기 자상하고 상관 최 계시 매버체 나버 이미 계시 매버체 상관을 거 짱짱도 상담다네 다 되게 지금 심기 시 심가서다 시르로 영향이야 판도 연구도가 이 최 계시게 말이 간다 삼루도서 별로 용토야 지기 엔데네 다 시버 차라셔야 돼 도서 난가도 세디기 내거기 시버 밀음기 내거기 시버 니투기 내거기 시버 그래서 제지 아주 내 모셔버들 가셔요 밀음 숭니 아니 지금 밀음 그 류디 사실 산다로 조댕게 된데 내 모셔버들이요 저상가 류 라베 류 대다 저여 되베 아니 지금 밀음 그 류 된데 더나야 지금 무엇을 된데 용되게 된데 내 모셔버들이요 그래서 제디 최 계시게 말이 가다 삼년 조다 그래 여버들 제디 하던 세직배 더나 쳐보셔야 되지 사들이 인도 되어 지 순인도죠 나저 최신의 슬디 지금 샤된 자 서로 들지고 뭐지 그 신의 타는 전에 시와 차라 디도 시야와치야 아니 미는기 시와 디게 타는지 되기 쉬야들이 지금 미는기 류송니 아니 사실 산다로 줘야 되는데 미는기 류디 송네 아니 그 로봇 산다시를 내니 그게 가르치고 일이야 차상 시기에도 진짜 용되게 도와. 대수 제대로 양식 류들이 로서 시바 시기에다가 대로 낭색을 차라먹고 여다가 대수 제대야 신경 두시기 전에 이내리 시기 세력이 전에 이내리 대저 타로 야야 시기 탄난시야 가다야 안돼 돈나싱이 용되게 돌아 진짜 야고도 띵한서 벽이 실단 태고 시종아서 뭐다 별이야 태고 시종아서 차상식 예외 인도산에 된게 성공 리뷰 거주제 거로 14호시다 아니 시바 차라도 되게 깨시야시기 예외 인도산에 대한 판도 연구도 대다스 내 상주신 시 순인도죠 현다인 저스텔리
So, on this auspicious occasion, I also wish to share a few words. First of all, with regard to the teaching of the Buddha, particularly the monastics, I wish to say that we should not be satisfied with merely wearing the monastic robes. Sorry, but we should engage in the practice, study, reflection, and practice of the Dharma. That is very important, so please keep this in mind. And moreover, in Buddhism, what we find is so many teachings on the states of the different emotions, mind and emotions, psychology, and therefore we have so many practices to tackle the different problems that we face. Even as lay people, people should pay attention to the explanations of mind and emotions that we find in our texts. And it's not necessary that you should be a believer in the religion, but even today, even scientists who are not religious as such are taking interest in learning from our tradition when it comes to learning about psychology, the workings of our mind and emotions. And so it is helpful for peace of mind as well. And then in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, we also find mention of the different degrees of subtlety within the mind, such as the mind during the waking state, sleep state, and then also dream state. I have known people who were able to experience dream body and go out of the dream body, and then being able to talk about different places that they have gone, they have been in that dream body as well. And so this is not about religion as such. Even scientists are paying attention to such things. And then with regard to the Dharma, it's not only about prayers and rituals, but we should understand the different gross and subtle states of mind as well, in order to be able to use the knowledge for tackling our emotions. And then in education as well as science, we should try to introduce these the study of mind and emotions. Of course, the people are taking interest in them, and we should further work on this. And then in our tradition, the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, we have the entire teaching of the Buddha, including those of the basic vehicle, the Mahayana and then Tantrayana. And within the context of the Tantrayana, we find mention of these different degrees of subtlety within the mind as well. And so, I just wish to share this with you on this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness, for your advice and the teachings that you composed, all of the Buddhist teachings for us. And I'm sure that we're going to have a very fruitful dialogue throughout the next few days. And to end our inaugural session today, this morning, I would like to invite Venerable Khenche Jangshub Sherden, the Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation, IBC, New Delhi, to give the thank you note for this morning's session. Thank you.
Anirodham adutpadam anuchedam ashashvatam anekartham nanartham nagamam nirgamam ya pratitya samutpadam prapancho pashamam shivam deshyamasa sambudastam vande vadutam avaram. I pay homage to Tri Ratna, especially to the Holy Sangha led by Your Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama, and all other prominent leaders of the Buddhist world present in this auditorium. I'm delighted to extend a deep and humble thanks on behalf of the organizers of this event to the prominent speakers, Your Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama, and His Eminence, Gaden Rinpoche, head of the Gelug sect, Sri Pema Khandu, Chief Minister, Arunachal Pradesh, Most Venerable Dharmapriya Bhikkhu, Deputy Sangharaja, Bangladesh, Most Venerable Dr. Varakagoda Jnana Ratana, the Mahayaya Kathero of Asigriya chapter of Siham Nikaya, Sri Lanka, Prayer Idhi Muni Mong Sang, President, Cambodian Buddhist Monk Society, Cambodia, Most Venerable Kumdin Nya, Deputy Sangharaja, Myanmar, Venerable Nam Yun Dang Hyons Bong, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, Korea, His Eminence Changzi Chögyur Rinpoche from Taiwan, Most Venerable Rujing, Abbot of Bliss and Wisdom Monastic Community, Taiwan, His Eminence Gyangkhang Rinpoche, Head Abbot, Namduling Monastery, Pra Dambodhi Wong, Chief Abbot, Royal Thai Monastery, Bodh Gaya, His Eminence Meri Lobyu Rinpoche, representative of Meri Tenzin Rinpoche, Venerable Shui Kobayashi, Japan, Venerable Kenshin Nyima Gyaltsen, representative of Digung Kyamgön, Venerable Bachulun Munkbatar, representative of Gaden Tekchending Monastery, Mongolia, His Venerable Kempo Tsiring P. Gurung, representative of Sakya Tenzin, Venerable Kempo Sonam Bumden, representative of His Eminence J. Kempo, Bhutan, His Eminence Jonang Gyaltsab Rinpoche, head of the Jonang sect of Tibetan Buddhism, His Eminence Tulku Lame Gyegin, Mongolian Buddhist from Mongolia, Venerable Sherjin Lama Geshe Lobsang Chodak from Russia, Venerable Trin Min Zhen from Vietnam, and my colleague, Mr. Abhijit Halder, Director General of IBC, and Mr. Tashi Namgyal, Executive Councillor, Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council, Ladakh. So this is the name of individuals that I was provided to thank. And then now, beside that, I also thank the representative of the Tibetan government, the CTA, present here in this hall, and all the holy Buddhist leaders, prominent guests, and the delegates from friends from all over the world assembled here for the International Sangha Forum 2023, Bodh Gaya, India. As we gather here in the holiest site on the planet, we must take a minute to express our deepest gratitude and thanks for the opportunity to connect with each other and for the holy presence of Buddha, which guides and nourishes us. We must be eternally thankful for the methodology, wisdom, and strength provided by the holy Dharma, as well as the sense of belonging and purpose it instills in our life. Let us pause for a moment to recognize the diversity of this meeting, which is a true reflection of collective wisdom and unified voice. Let us be thankful and embrace our diversity and use this gathering to learn, share, and to improve mutual understanding, and brotherhood. As we gather today, let us open our hearts and minds to learn more from each other, as well as share our experiences, thoughts, and insights. Let us rejoice in our common belief and our resolve to living a life of love, compassion, wisdom, and service to all beings. Thank you, especially to these group of organizations. Tourism Department of Bihar government, International Buddhist Confederation IBC New Delhi, International Buddhist Council Bodh Gaya, Siddharth International, Jaso Yeo, Phyllis Wong Singapore, Madam Supapa Snidwong Thailand, Master V Vajramedhi Rai Chern Tawan Foundation Thailand, Pra Bodhi Nandamuni Lungpo Jia Wat Pa Bodh Gaya, Wat Thai Bodh Gaya Royal Thai Temple, all the co-organizers who greatly contributed by being generous in providing funds and other necessary needs. Then beside that, I also need to thank, on behalf of the organizers, viharas and centers in Bodh Gaya who have provided accommodation for monks during the International Sangha Forum. Those are Myanmar Vihar, Bodh Gaya, Khua Bomchum Meditation Center, the Great Holy Land Temple, Majhima Sukha Foundation, Win-Win Myanmar, Teja Mangala, Buripalo Hospital and Meditation Center, Wat Lao Buddha Gaya International, Buddhist Thai Bharat Society, Wat Pa Buddha Gaya, Buddhist Raja Monastery, Cambodian Monastery. So we express deep thanks to all of you for your immense support. Without your support, we definitely won't be here today. So beside that, I also express deepest thanks, not the least, but at the last, to all the volunteers, and especially those people who have been working continuously for many months in past, and many weeks in past, preparing for a lot of things. So without the effort of all these people, this thing definitely won't have happened. So I express my deep thanks to all of you. I'm sorry that I'm not able to read all the names here, announce the names. So I have to say sorry for that. At the end, thank you all for coming today. I hope and pray that you will leave Bodh Gaya feeling inspired, motivated, wiser, and fully energized in your holy quest to the great enlightenment. May blessings of Triple Gem be upon each and every one of us. So at the end, I would like to quote great Shanti Deva. Pathasvadhyaye kalila vihara santu susthita nityam sayat sangha samagari sangha karyam cha siddhyatu. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Khencho Jangchuk Sheldon, for your thank you note. And to end our inaugural session this morning, I would like to invite all our distinguished guests on stage to take a photo session with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And that would conclude our inaugural session this morning. And during the next few days, the inaugural session has ended, and our International Sangha Forum would officially begin our sessions of discussions starting this afternoon. So after lunch, I invite all of our members to come back to this hall for our first session of exchange The topic would be interpreting ancient wisdom across cultural perspective. And we would have morning and afternoon sessions throughout the next 2 days. So please join us for our discussions.
Thank you. May I also request everyone there to be seated in their respective seats for now and wait until His Holiness and all the other delegates leave the room through the backstage. After that, may I request all the honored guests as well as the speakers and the chairpersons to follow. And so after that, I would like to ask the rest of the audience in the room to leave through the door and by collecting the coupon, the meal coupon. So without the meal coupon, you will not be provided meals. So you will need to pick the meal coupon as you exit through the door. Tanda Kuba di Trupche, Kyangrom Shida, Lengezo, Mape Patu, Samlo Shurona, Di Jelia, Tanda Kunjun Nambazo, Tusche Pedure, Di Jelia Nambazo, Luluchene, Tanda Tus Pebekapso, Kohane, Zinjanjik, Shelachuak, Zinjanjik, Shujinagus, Di Shu di Sheche, and Shelachuka Pebu, the Shu di Mabby National Tokyo Samare, Dirisha. Shela Nangsa di Tanda di Pajongo Kamba de Resundu. No. So the meals for the VIPs will be on the second floor, and the rest of the audience in the room, we have to go to the adjacent room. Thank you. Hello. Number two, dos churro nasung do, dos churro nasung. And the kunjun zon the pets am doa. Kunjun zu pets house na ani lulu chin perona.